Hello and welcome to the lesson. Let's solve this question on area under curves. In the figure below, the graphs of y is equals to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16 and y is equals to 2x plus 4 intersect at points A and B. So you can see point A and B. So the first graph of this line is given, y is equals to 2x plus 4, and the curve is given there. Part A, find the coordinates of points A and B. And then we have the second question, part B, estimate the area bounded by the curve. Y is equals to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. On the line, y is equals to 2x plus 4 using 1, the trapezium rule with 6 ordinates. And then part B, mid-ordinate rule with 5 strips. So those are the questions. Let's go to the first part. For the first part, we are required to get the coordinates of point A and B. How do we get the coordinates of these points of intersection? This is how we're going to do it. We shall equate these functions. So we can call this function y1. This is the first function, y1. That is a function of the curve. And the function of the line, we can denote that one by y2. So to get the point of intersection, because this is the point of intersection of the curve and this line, so we shall simply equate the y function, because this y is equals to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. That is y. That's the reason why we're equating. So we take negative 2x, so negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. That is the y function of this curve. Then we equate that one with 2x plus 4. And the reason why we're doing this, because this represents a y function, and this one is also the y function. So when we solve for x after equating, we shall get the respective x coordinates of the points of intersection. So let us solve this equation. I'm going to bring everything from the right hand side to the left hand side, and this is what I'm going to have. So I'll have negative 2x squared plus 4x. Then I bring this will be negative 2x, then plus 16. Bring this positive 4 to the left hand side, I'll get negative 4. The right hand side you shall have 0. So work out these, you'll get negative 2x squared plus this will be 2x plus this will be 12 is equals to 0. Now to get rid of this negative, I can multiply each term by negative to get rid of this negative that is here. So when I multiply each term by negative, I'll get 2x squared negative 2x negative 12 is equals to 0. I can still simplify this equation by dividing everything by 2. So if I divide every term by 2, I'll get x squared minus x minus 6 is equals to 0. Now from here, you'll notice that this is a quadratic equation, and you can use any suitable method to solve this quadratic equation. You shall get two values of x. So use a factorization method. So look for two numbers whose product is negative 6, and sum is negative 1. And these are numbers negative 3 and 2. So negative 3 and 2. So get negative 3 and 2, the product will be negative 6, sum will be negative 1. So using factorization, I'll therefore have x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6 is equals to 0. When you factorize these, this is what you're going to get. You shall get x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 3 is equals to 0. And here you shall have two values of x. So the first one will be, x will be negative 2 and x will be 3. So those are the two values of x. So that means having the two values negative 2 and looking at the point of intersection, the one that will be negative automatically will be here. So that this way we shall have negative 2. This way we shall have negative 2. And then for this point of intersection here, so for this point of intersection, this where you are going to have 3. So those are the x coordinates of the point of intersection. So we need to get the y. To give the coordinate, we must give the x and the y. So for A, since you can see A intersects at the x-axis, so at the x-axis, the value of y will be 0. So A x will be -2. Then since it is on the x-axis, y will be 0. Now for this one, to get the y coordinate, you can see y coordinate, you can either use the equation of the curve. You can use the equation of the curve by simply substituting x is equals to 3, either in this function or in this function. So I'll simply use this function, y is equals to 2x plus 4. So y is equals to x plus 4. So when x is equals to 3, just substitute it here. You get y is equals to 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 4. So this will be 10. So therefore, for B, when x is 3, y will be 10. You still get the answer if you use this function. I've chosen the easiest one to use. So that is how you're supposed to work out the first part. That is part A. We've given the coordinates of points A and B. Let's go to the other part, which is estimate the area bounded by the curve y, the curve and the line, using the trapezium rule with 6 ordinates. So looking at this diagram, to get the area bounded by the curve, let me first identify the area. The area bounded by the curve and the line is this area that is here. I'm going to shade here. So that is the area that we need to get. So how do we get that area? We shall get that area by getting the area under the curve, this curve, which is given by y1, this function, between -2 and 3, and then we subtract the area under this line, given by this function y2, between points A and B. When we do that, we shall remain with the shaded area. Repeat that. So we are going to get the shaded area, which is the area bounded by the curve and the line, by simply getting the area under the curve from -2 to 3, and then we subtract the area bounded by the area below the line, given by this function y2, between A and B. So when we subtract that, we are going to remain with this. So I will prepare a table using 6 ordinates. So we shall have a -2 all the way to 3. So let me prepare a table here very fast. So we have -2. We are going to start from -2. So -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those are 6 ordinates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the x. So we shall start by getting the area under the curve, that is y1. So y1, that will be y1 there. Then we shall get y2, the area under the line. And then the last one here will be now the difference. That is, let me expand these. This will be the area under the curve, which is y1, subtract y2. So let us fill this on very fast. Y1, the area under the curve. So the function is given by -2x squared. So -2x squared. So -2, and then x is -2. So we shall put -2 like that, then squared, and then plus 4x. Plus 4x is -2 plus 16. That will give 0. When x is -1, so we shall have -2, so -1 squared plus 4x, x is -1 plus 16, that will give 10. When x is 0, that is easy. When x is 0, just substitute 0 here. You shall have y will be 16. Then when x is 1, when you substitute 1 here, when x is 1, you shall get -2. This one will be -2 plus 4 plus 16. That will be 18. Then when x is 2, so we shall have -2, x is 2, so 2 squared will be 4, and then plus 4x, x is 2, plus 16, that will be 16. When x is 3, -2, 3 squared is 9, plus 4, x is 3, plus 16, that will give 10. Let's go now to the area under the line. We want to get that. So under this line now, so we're going to use this equation. So when x, we're going to fill this one very fast. When x is -2, this will be -4 plus 4, that will be 0. When x is -1, this will be -2 plus 4, that will be 2. When x is 0, y will be 4. When x is 1, this will be 6. When x is 2, this will be 4 plus 4, that will be 8. And then when x is 3, this will be 6 plus 4, that will be 10. Now, after getting that, remember what you said, to get the area bounded by that curve and the line, we get the area we are going to subtract the area under the curve between A and B, this point between this -2 and 3, then subtract the area under the line between -2 and 3. So that is why we're subtracting this. So we're going to subtract 0, we get 0. 10 subtract 2, we get 8. 16 subtract 4, we get 12. 18 subtract 6, we get 12. 16 subtract 8, we get 8. 10 subtract 10, we get 0. After doing that now, we use the trapezium rule. The trapezium rule is how we use it. Area is equals to a half height. Then we have y0 plus y1 plus 2. Then y2 plus y3 and so on. So let me simplify these. I have height. Height is from between -2, -1. From -1 to 0, you can see the difference is 1. The height is 1. So this one will be a half times 1, which will be still half. So the height is the intervals from -2 to -1. From -1 it is uniform to 0 and so on. Y0 is the first value. This will be y0. This will be y1. This will be y2, y3, y4, y5. So y0 plus, maybe I put this one to be y5, modify. This is the first value plus the last. So the first one is 0 plus the last, the last is 0 as well. Then plus twice all the middles from here, 8, the sum of the middles. This you have 8 plus 12 plus 12 plus 8, like that. So this will give a half. This will be 0 plus, you work out these, 2 to bracket 8 plus 12 plus 12 plus 8. That will be 80. So this will be half times 80, and this will give 40 square units. So that is the first solution using the trapezium rule. The most important thing to understand here is 6 ordinates are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's also important to understand the formula. We use the trapezoidal rule or the trapezium rule. Have height, the first plus the last, then plus twice all the middles. Now let's go to the mid-ordinate rule. The mid-ordinate rule. For the mid-ordinate rule, we shall get the midpoints of these strips. For example, between -2 and -1, what is at the center? We pick the mid. So I'll create a table here to extract those midpoints. So that is why you have X. So the first mid is between -2 and -1. The mid of that strip will be -1.5. That will be the first one. Then between -1 and 0 will be -0.5. Then from 0 to 1, the mid of that will be 0.5. And then from 1 to 2, we have 1.5. And then from 2 to 3, the mid of that is 2.5. That is how we extract the midpoints to get the X values that you're going to use. So from -2 to -1, the mid of that is -1.5. From -1 to 0, the mid of that is -0.5. From 0 to 1, the mid of that is 0.5. From 1 to 2, the mid of that is 1.5. From 2 to 3, the mid is 2.5. Then from there, we shall follow the same process, whereby we shall get y1 minus y2. So we shall have y1, that is the function of the curve, because to get the area, we must subtract that. So y1, then y2, and then for this one, we shall have y1 minus y2. This is what you're going to use. So very fast, using a calculator, y1, remember y1. Remember y1 was this function. Y is equals to -2x squared plus 4x plus 16. So we fill this table using that. So -2 to brackets, -1.5 squared plus 4, -1.5 plus 16. That will give 5.5. Then -0.5. So we shall have -2. We're using this function to fill that. -2 to brackets, -0.5 squared plus 4 brackets -0.5 plus 16. That will give 13.5. That will give 13.5. Then 0.5 So negative 2, 0.5 squared plus 4, 0.5 plus 16, 17.5, then 1.5, the next is 1.5. So negative 2, 1.5 squared plus 4, 1.5 plus 16, that will give 17.5 again. Then the last one, 2.5. So negative 2, 2.5 squared plus 4, 2.5 plus 16, that will give 13.5. We are through with that. Now we go to the other function, the equation of the curve. So now we're using this is y2, y is equals to x plus 4. So when x is negative 1.5, this will be 2, x is negative 1.5 plus 4, that is 1, this will give 1.0. Then when x is negative 0.5, so 2 negative 0.5 plus 4, that will give 3.0. When x is 0.5, so 2 0.5 plus 4, that will give 5.0. Then when x is 1.5, so 2 1.5 plus 4, this will be 7. Then 2.5, next is 2.5, that is 9.0. We confirm this, negative is 1.5. I'm confirming this, it is okay, it is 1. The second one, it is okay. After doing that, now we subtract 5.5 minus 1.0, this will give 4.5. 13.5 minus 3.0, this will give 10.5. 17.5 minus 5.0, this will give 12.5. Then 17.5 minus 7, that will give 10.5. Sorry, 10.5. 13.5 minus 9.0, this will give 4.5. Now after getting that, now we use the mid-ordinate rule. Mid-ordinate rule, this is how we use it. Area is equals to height multiplied by the sum of the ordinates. Height multiplied by the sum of ordinates. So the ordinates are here. These are y0, y1, y2, y3, y4. So the height is the height of these strips here from negative 1.5 to 0.5. When you look at that height is 1. That height is 1 from negative 0.5 to, let me see here. Yeah, this one is 1 from negative 0.5 to 0.5, 1 from 0.5 to 1.5, that is 1 from 1.5 to 2.5. Can see the interval, the x interval is 1, so the height is 1. So the sum of the ordinates, this is 4.5 plus 10.5 plus 12.5 plus 10.5 plus 4.5. So that is what you're supposed to do. So we shall have 4.5 plus 10.5 plus 12.5 plus 10.5 plus 4.5. You get 42.5 square units. So that is how you work it out using the mid-ordinate rule and also the trapezium rule.